That elephant gun is the Coonan or Coonan, depending on how you opt to say it, 357 Magnum Classic. And to quote from their site before we shoot it, the experience of firing a Coonan can't be explained using words or pictures alone. Okay. And there's times in life, have you ever been like, I've got to go like tell my girl something she's not going to like, and I might get punched in the face? Like, that's the kind of dread that you have about to shoot this. And I don't know, maybe it's great, but 357, not typically a pleasant experience. Ah, yes. So if you've ever been like kicked by a horse or had an elephant step on you, it's a similar feeling. I don't know if you'll be able to see this on camera, but a literal fireball I just saw come from the muzzle of that gun. Yeah. So the 357, this gun is so hard to, the 357 round apparently was created in the 30s. You can go look up this on Wikipedia because that's where I found it. Was created in the 30s as a means to shoot through mob cars, right? 1930s, whatever, you know, mob shit's going down, prohibition, I'm sure all of that. And 38 just wasn't cutting it anymore. So they said, fuck it, let's just load up some shit that would kill a fucking hippo, and that'll go through the mob cars and take care of whoever, Mo. I feel like Mo would be a good mob name. And that's what you have here, a gun designed to shoot through mob cars.
Okay, go ahead.
Every time before I shoot this gun, I make a sound effect, something to the effect of, yeah. Like, I feel like chest hair is just like sprouting out of nowhere when I shoot this. Like, I shoot it and I'm, yeah. Like, I can't help doing it. Every time, I literally am saying that because I caught myself doing it a second ago. I chambered a mag and I went, yeah. And then you shoot it and you're like, yeah. Like, that could be a mob door that just went down. That hippopotamus, dead. Nile crocodile, one and done. The mountain from Game of Thrones, not a problem for him. Great white shark, one and done. Yeah. So let's talk about some features, if you will. The magazine is the size of a small laptop, okay? We've got a single side safety, because that's, you know, of course. The general shape of it is an L, okay? It's just an L. The angles are not, already a blister forming. We're about 40 rounds into this. There's a blister who's like, yeah, we're definitely gonna need to go ahead and open up pretty soon here. The angles are non-existent for the most part. This is round, just round. This is very square. This is like very not smooth. Of course, there would be a slanted rear sight versus something that I can you know, rack or have a ledge or something. The grips are plastic. It's a pretty common material. And we gotta talk about this. Some idiots on four-wheelers are literally rolling down the hill in reverse. That's fantastic. And if they were riding a horse, I could take them out from here one shot. Okay, now we need to talk about this. The mainspring housing is, however smooth a baby's butt is, because it's an expression, this is significantly smoother, okay? Like, it's the most smooth surface I've ever felt in my entire life. And you know what no one's ever said about a 1911? Could we remove all of the grip texture from the mainspring housing? What I would like, and this is just me having a conversation with a 1911 engineer, what I would really like is, could you make this in like the hardest shooting round you could think of, and then remove all of the grip, okay? So like what I'm looking for is something to shoot a woolly mammoth, but I don't really want to be able to grip it. So like if you guys could design that, that would be cool. And if you guys could also please leave off any like front serrations, that'd be killer. And then Coonan was like, we could do that. We could do that. And they designed it. And I need to reference this because I don't want to get it wrong. Brought notes today, everyone. This is the it's the 357 Magnum Classic. The retail on this is $16.50. That comes with, this is on their site, you can go, okay? This comes with a smooth mainspring housing and one magazine for $1,650. If you would like texture here and an additional magazine, because hey, sometimes you might want to be able to reload your gun, that will cost you $1,872. I will tell you this. When I shot this gun, I thought, because I've shot this gun one time prior to today, when I first shot it, I was like, well, you know, it's a budget 1911. Like, what do you expect? You know, what do you expect? And then I saw that it was like damn near $2,000, and I was like, huh? Like I felt like I still today almost feel like I'm missing something. Something I'm missing. Like, granted, there's not a lot of 1911s and 357, potentially for good reason, but we're talking almost $2,000. At almost $2,000, like you gotta give me some features other than, like, the feature is that it's 357. There's like no other features. You know, the trigger is, I'm gonna say this in this gun's defense, the trigger is actually has a nice trigger pull. There you go, there's a compliment. There is a minimal amount of take up, then you hit a wall, and to be perfectly honest, the trigger pull is nice. Why it looks like, I mean, does it not look like the bottom of the trigger just broke off? And they were like designing it, and the bottom half of the trigger broke, like fell off, got cut with a saw, something, I don't know. And they were like, ship it, just ship it. Like, they're not gonna notice. Like, I feel like this is something that they probably, actually, I think I wrote it down. They call that something. I'm telling you. Okay, direct quote from the site. A crisp pivoting trigger. That's what they refer to this trigger as on the site. I don't know what the pivot is, and why do I want it to pivot? I don't know. I feel like, again, on the site it says crisp pivoting trigger. It should say, what's that? And you can click on the little thing and it pulls up a description of someone describing crisp. I'll give you pivoting trigger. I don't know why I want a pivoting trigger. So how about this? Who's this gun for? Why don't we wrap up this series with that? I don't know. Big game hunters. I'm trying to give you honest, legitimate, you know, who buys this. People who like live in bear country, maybe. I would probably take 10 mil, but you know, whatever. Whoever goes after mobsters these days, because that's what it was designed for. People who like weird shit. That's kind of what I think. I think who's the most likely person to buy the Coonan 357 Magnum Classic? People who just like, I've run out of normal stuff to buy, so let's just throw some weird shit into the mix. Like if you've gotten bored with all the normal stuff, you need one of these. You do. And if you want to make it exciting and a little like, who knows what's going to happen this round, get it with the smooth mainspring housing. So yeah, it's great. It's great for some people. It's great for some people. Coonan, the barbarian. All right, out. You can hear, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to try to do this by the mic because it's fucking funny. To me, at least. One thing that this gun will remind you of on a plus, like on a nostalgic side, if you have ever lived by train tracks and there's that like clickety clunk of like a train going down the tracks, you just sit there and listen to it, and it kind of reminds you of like older, more simple days, you know? So like in the list of positive things we can find, if you were like a boxcar children, like my generation read those books growing up, Coonan, 357 Magnum Classic. Just bumping down the railroads, you know?
Okay.
That's it.